Hello and welcome everyone to MDE podcast special series Altera Perspectives. This segment invites you to explore Altera Infrastructure, a leader in global energy infrastructure services, known for its operations in offshore oil regions like the North Sea, Brazil and Canada's East Coast. Altera is redefining the future of offshore energy infrastructure. In this insightful trilogy, the spotlight is on how Altera tackles challenges and opportunities in the energy sector and how they manage the most important assets, their people. From recruiting top talent for ambitious projects in Dubai to managing global mobility and nurturing a culture that thrives on innovation and sustainability. Altera Infrastructure, originating from Altera, the Portuguese word for transform, lives up to its name. With a versatile fleet of FPSOs, shuttle tankers and other offshore assets, Altera isn't just participating in the energy industry, it's leading the change towards a greener and more sustainable future. Their story is about more than just assets and operations, it's about the people behind them. Over 2,300 professionals, united by their vision and values, drive their commitment to operations excellence and sustainability. Through teamwork and innovation, they are not just adapting to change, they are leading it. I will be joined today by Altera influent leaders and thinkers. They'll share insight and stories that paint a vivid picture on how Altera Infrastructure is not just adapting to the changing world, but it's actually shaping it one innovative step at a time. Hi everyone, and welcome to exciting podcast series with Altera Infrastructure. And today we're gonna have the episode number 1. Around the table with me, I have Madeleine, who is working as SVP Business Improvement at Altera Infrastructure, and Rune, who is working as a Performance and Leadership Director at Altera Infrastructure. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How was the flight up to Trondheim?
It was nice, a bit cold, both in Oslo and in Trondheim, to be honest. So, yeah, I've had better days in Trondheim.
But it was a magic sunrise. And flying in over here was cold. It was really beautiful. So it was a good start of the day, I would say.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we have also Trondheim and Værnes in a more difficult conditions. It's not that good. So yeah, it's great that you have starting the day in a good way. We're going to have a podcast series with Altera where we're going to talk about the culture, the global mobility, and recruitment to major projects. Today we're going to talk about the culture. Can you tell us a little bit first who and what does Altera do and what is the culture at your place?
I'll try to be short.
Yeah.
Altera is quite complex, but we are an offshore infrastructure company. We have been around for decades, but as Altera, we've only been around for a couple of years because we are put together by different business units with different history. So we have floating production units, we have shuttle tankers, FSOs, an accommodation unit, and tugs that tow big infrastructure pieces from shore and off to the coasts. And one of the more exciting things about working in Altera, I think, is our vision. We say that we are to lead the industry to a sustainable future. And our strategy is nurture the core, transition for more. And that means that we are to still work in oil and gas for decades to come because that's important for the energy security of the world. But at the same time, we have a responsibility to follow the energy transition and make more green solutions. So right now we have very exciting projects, as you mentioned, 2 of them down in Dubai at the yard there. That will secure offshore operations for decades to come. So we have 3 assets down there that are being worked on for the next couple of years. And in addition to that, we have an exciting project called Stella Maris, which is a carbon capture and storage solution. So that's securing the future in a different way. So Altera is an exciting place to be.
Absolute. in Altera, it's well, how can you put it? In every successful companies, there are also again a talk about a good culture. How is the culture in Altera?
Yeah, the culture. It's a saying in Norway: "The kulturen ligger I veggene." The culture is in the walls, but I would say it's more among the people. The sort of the norms and the values and how we should work together. And one of the special things in Altera is the caring for people. Really care about each other, want us to succeed. So it's like a family culture that is really sort of binding people together, no matter where you are on projects or offshore or which office you are. There's like a culture binding us together, really caring for us, like a big family.
And I would also say that what really struck me when I started in Altera 4 years ago is the high performance culture. And there's a lot of talk about that in sports specifically, but we have such a complex company and a complex industry, highly regulated. There are new requirements all the time, complex technical solutions, and you need really competent people to be able to deliver on that. And that really struck me when I started here, that everyone was so competent. And the most fascinating thing is that everyone is so eager to share. No one holds back. And in a lot of companies, my experience has been that knowledge is power. So people keep the knowledge to themselves. But in Altera, it's really special to see how eager people are to share their experiences, share their knowledge, support each other. And as Rune says, it's really that supportive feeling that I think sets Altera apart from a lot of other companies that I've been working in.
Yeah, it sounds really good, and it's as you say, then you have the best way to get a good culture when people are willing to share. Yeah, for sure. I also know that in Altera there is several different nationalities. How do you get these different nationalities or culture to work together?
I think for me it's kind of two-sided. Obviously, when you have different nationalities, it's important to learn from each other again and to come from a mindset where you are open to other ways of doing things than what you are used to. Because I think growing up in Norway and being used to the Norwegian way of thinking, we are very trust-based, which isn't always the case in other countries that we operate in, like Brazil and the Philippines. So we need to really be mindful of not pushing our way of thinking onto others and think that that's the only way. But I think the most important part for me in incorporating different cultures and nationalities is the more overarching question about diversity and inclusion, because it's not only about the nationalities, it's what every single individual are bringing to the table. So I can have more in common with a male colleague from the Philippines than from a female colleague from Norway at the same age as me. So I think that's important to keep in mind as well, that the differences that are visible doesn't necessarily mean that there are differences within us.
But is this a way you've been have been focused on when recruitment new people?
Yeah, I've been working here for actually 2 periods. Back in 2005, it was a very humanist company. It was quite shipping driven. It was a lot of males. We were really not that diverse. So over the years, we've been able to recruit in a lot of different expertise. Gender has been coming on the agenda, different nationalities. So that diversity has really been growing on for the last few years, and it's about nurturing that diversity, be able to capture on that. We see that diverse people are more innovative, come up with better solutions, so be able to creating better results actually by utilizing that diversity even better.
Yeah.
We even have this campaign called You Belong. So that was initiated by our CEO because she went to Brazil to one of our offices there and met with all the people and really understood the importance of that diversity and how important it is with inclusion. Because in order to really benefit from that diversity, as Rune is saying, you need to be inclusive. There's not enough to have the statistics. You actually need to appreciate that diversity as well, and that comes with inclusion. So that's why we created this #YouBelong to highlight things that we do to make people feel like they belong in Altera and are part of that big family.
When you're talking about the culture and the different what can you say, the different nationalities who are working here, how do you attract new candidates to Altera? How do you work? How do you get people interested?
I think that has been a bit difficult because we are a new name, although we are an old company. We have a lot of legacy and history and traditions, but the name is quite new. So I think we have used that story a lot to try to make people understand that we do have a long history, although the name is new. And what we also experienced is that when we actually get people in, when we get them interested and they meet us, we see that we are quite able to recruit people. The hard part has been to get them interested in actually recognizing the name. But in all the interviews and the recruitment processes that I've been part of, I really think that we are able to create a relaxing setting where people can actually understand who we are. And I think we're quite honest as well. When I have been recruiting, I've always said it's high pace, it's high performance, there are high demands. If you can't keep up with the pace, if you need 100% structure, this is not the place for you. And I think that's important, to be honest and not sugarcoat and try to make it better than it is, because it is great for those people who actually thrive in that kind of environment. And that's why it's important to be honest about that upfront so that you find the right candidates.
When you are when you're talking about the way you recruit today, do you see any differences from back in the time, like to talk with the actual candidates? Is it a different time now than, for example, in 2005?
I think previously we recruited a lot with the kind of experience people had and the skills. I think we're looking more for personality these days. What's fit with the culture within the company? And if the culture is not fit, I don't think it's the right company to work for. So I think we have a more focus on personality that fits with the culture. And then you can actually learn and thrive. And in Altera, there's a lot of possibility to develop and really learn. So if you have the right kind of personality and you fit in with the culture, you can make a lot of different career moves within the company. There's a lot of examples on that.
Do you have any good examples, or to ask differently, any highlights? For example, the two best highlights of culture qualities in Altera.
I think when it comes to learning, as we spoke about earlier, I think the learning week that we have, the learning and development channel that we have on Viva Engage, Yammer, where people really are active and are sharing, is a good example. And I've also really enjoyed the fact that people can play their biggest game. We have a CEO who says this is a place where people should be able to play their biggest game. And we have a lot of internal promotions and shifts, and people really get new chances. And we work with that very structured from the executive leadership level and down all the way down to the bottom level in the organization. We focus on that every month and have regular meetings on how to make people thrive in the company. And that means a lot to me, that it's not just something that we talk about and make glossy slides about, but we actually try to do something concrete about it as well.
Yeah, and for example, this year with the two major projects in Dubai, we have recruited a lot of people outside, but also we gave the opportunity internally who want to have this development possibility, and more than 60 have joined the projects, meaning that we sort of have the DNA of Altera within the project, so we maintain that culture. But with that rotation, when 60 people move in from their jobs, leaves a lot of openings as well for the other people. So we have a lot of people who have been promoted or moving forward to other jobs this year. So I think 1 out of 5 have got a new job or a new role or promotion this year, which is quite significant.
How is the feedback from the people going, for example, down to Dubai?
I've only heard positive things, both with those going down to Dubai and that have gotten other options as well and going to other offices. And I'm accountable for the shared service center in Manila, and we've had quite a few people from Manila going to Dubai as well. And obviously they see this as a great opportunity. And I think when you're working in a shared service center, typically in countries like Manila or India, you think that this is the kind of job that you will be having forever. But the fact that we can give everyone this opportunity, not only if you're in managerial positions or you're an engineer, but in every part of the company there will be openings and opportunities for you. And obviously people really appreciate that. And it's a small village down there, and I think people are having a good time. That's good.
The Altera village.
Yeah.
That's good. I see the time is flying really fast here. We are almost at the end. I have only one question to you. Do you have any good stories? Again, we're talking about culture, but do you have any good stories about the culture?
Well, I think there's actually a lot of people coming back, like myself. I've been working in many companies, and I already liked where I was, but there was something with the culture in Altera, this family kind of caring. And when I came back, I spent a lot of time meeting all my previous colleagues, a lot of hugs, but also all the new people that came on board, and see that they actually continue building on that culture. So there's something special with that coming back to the company. You feel you're part of a big family, actually.
And speaking of family, I think my favorite story is obviously we are very. It's very important for us to tie ship and shore together because we do have most of our people working offshore and on ships. And a couple of years back, one of the guys and one of our shuttle tankers were getting married, and he wanted to invite all of his co-workers that he normally works on the shuttle tanker with. Obviously he couldn't do that because someone had to be out there, and so he actually, everyone that was on shore came to his wedding, and then they filmed everything and streamed it live to the shuttle tanker, so the rest of his colleagues were sitting there watching and being part of his wedding day. And I think that says a lot about the culture.
Absolutely. It's a great story. Yeah, a great story. Thanks again for having me and MDE at this beautiful meeting room in Trondheim. Great talking to you, and I hope also for the people who've been listening, it's been enjoying. And again, we're coming back with another episode in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.